You see, life has a way of putting you in places where you question everything, where your faith trembles, where your heart wonders, oh, why me? But what you call trouble, what you call hardship is not here to break you, it is here to reveal you. Because unless life squeezes you, you will never know what you are made of. And every test that comes your way is a silent invitation from the divine saying, come higher, grow deeper, become more than you were yesterday. And when everything seems to fall apart, you must understand, life is not against you, it is shaping you. Like fire shapes gold, like pressure shapes a diamond, and in those moments when it hurts, when it feels lonely, when nothing makes sense. That is exactly where faith is born, because faith that has never been tested is just a word. But faith that survives the fire becomes unshakable, unmovable, unstoppable. And these tests you are facing, they are not punishment. No, they are preparation. Because what is coming is greater than what has been. And you cannot carry the old version of you into the new blessing waiting for you. So when life tests you, don't curse it, don't run from it, breathe into it, trust that something higher is at work, and know that even when it feels like silence, even when it feels like abandonment, you are actually being held, you are being guided, you are being made ready for something beyond your imagination. There are moments in life when you feel like the weight is too heavy to bear and the path is too steep to climb, yet these moments are not here to destroy you, but to show you that there is something inside you far greater than the storm around you. Because strength is not discovered in comfort, it is revealed in challenge. And until you are placed in a situation where your back is against the wall, where every option seems closed and every door seems shut, you will never truly know what lives inside you. And it is in that breaking point, in that place where you feel empty and drained, that. And there's something powerful rises from within, whispering, you are more than you think you are. And every test that comes your way is life's way of pulling out the greatness you didn't know existed. When the tests arrive, they come unannounced, they shake you, they unsettle you, they challenge every bit of certainty you held. Yet those very tests that seem so cruel are actually blessings in disguise, because without resistance there is no growth, without pressure there is no development, without fire gold cannot shine. And without testing you will never discover the hidden strength that sleeps inside of you, waiting for a reason to awaken. And the truth is you are stronger than you know, but you only meet that strength when life forces you into places you never wanted to go to bring out ability, never thought you had. These tests are not here to make you weak, they are here to prove that weakness is temporary and that strength is your true nature, because each trial strips away the layers of doubt, the illusions of limitation, the lies you've told yourself about what you can't handle. And in that stripping process, you begin to see the raw core of your being, where courage lives and faith breathes and resilience grows. And what you thought was the end often becomes the very place you are reborn into a stronger, wiser version of yourself that you never knew existed until the testing came. Every storm that shakes your life is not against you, but for you, because storms never leave you as they found you. They push you into decisions you've been avoiding. They remove comfort zones you've been clinging to, and they teach you to depend not on your strength alone, but on the strength within you that comes alive when everything else seems to fail. And it is in these moments that you learn you are far more capable than you ever believed, and what once terrified you now becomes proof of what you have already overcome. And that is the beauty of being tested, it reveals strength you thought you never had. When you are tested, you are also refined like fire refines metal, and like pressure turns coal into diamonds, because life is not trying to destroy you, it is shaping you and preparing you for something greater. And that preparation often requires struggle, because greatness is never born in comfort. Ease but in pressure and perseverance, and in learning to endure when you want to give up, and when the test ends, you don't just come out of it the same, you come out different, stronger, wiser and more resilient. And it is in that growth that you begin to understand why it had to happen the way it did. Oh, so that the way it did. You might not see it in the moment, because when pain is loud, purpose often feels silent. But every test is a teacher, and every struggle carries a lesson about who you really are and what you are really made of. And when you look back later, you will realize that what you thought was sent to break you was actually sent to build you. And what you thought was the worst thing that could happen became the reason you became stronger, braver and more unshakable than you ever imagined. Because strength is not found, it is revealed, and revelation only comes through testing. So when life tests you, when everything feels like it's falling apart and nothing makes sense, remember, this is not the end, this is the process of uncovering who you really are and what you are capable of. because every test is proof that you are being prepared for something bigger, and every obstacle is a doorway to discovering a version of you that is more powerful than the one before. And what feels like breaking is often the beginning of becoming. And that is why these tests are not curses. They are gifts disguised as challenges. Embrace them even when they hurt, lean into them. Even when they scare you, trust them, even when they confuse you. Because one day you will look back and see that every test was a chapter of strength being written into your story. And you will realize that what you thought was impossible to survive became proof of how powerful you truly are. And in that moment you will know without any doubt that tests do not come to destroy you. They come to reveal your true strength, and the day you understand, that is the day you stop fearing the test and start honoring it as the reason you grew into who you always meant to be. Pain is something no one seeks, yet everyone meets because it comes uninvited and stays longer than you want. And while it may feel like punishment, it is often the very thing shaping you into a version of yourself you never imagined could exist, because pain breaks what is weak and reveals what is unbreakable. And it is in those sleepless nights, in those silent tears, in those moments you think you cannot take one more step that transformation begins. Because comfort never changes you, but pain forces you to grow, to shed what no longer serves you and to step into something entirely new. When you're in pain, it feels endless, like a storm that will never pass, like a weight too heavy to carry. Yet it is in the carrying of that weight that your strength is built. And it is in the storm that your faith is forged, and every scar, every tear, every moment you thought would destroy you actually becomes the birthplace of wisdom and resilience, because pain doesn't come to take from you. It comes to create within you something powerful and unshakable. And once you have walked through it, you are never the same, because pain always leaves a mark, but that mark can be the symbol of your greatest transformation. Pain strips away illusions, it forces you to face truths you once ignored, it takes you to the core of who you are and who you are meant to become. And though it hurts, it teaches you to let go of what is temporary, to release what was never meant to stay, and to embrace what is eternal. Because pain has a way of rearranging your priorities, shifting your perspective and pulling you toward the things that truly matter. And in that process, you find yourself becoming someone stronger, wiser and more compassionate than before. Because pain has carved away the shallow parts of you and revealed something real, something authentic, something new. Every time pain enters your life, it opens a doorway to growth you didn't even know you needed. Because transformation rarely comes wrapped in comfort, it comes wrapped in challenges and heartbreak and losses. You thought you could never survive, yet somehow you do, and in doing so, you awaken to a power within you that was dormant until the pain shook it awake. And when you rise from it, you rise differently. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because you became resilient enough to face what once terrified you and keep moving forward anyway, and that is transformation in its purest form. Pain is the fire that refines you, it melts away the false identity, the pride, the fears that once controlled you, and in its refining heat you are purified like gold made radiant, not by avoiding the flames, but by enduring them. And though it hurts deeply, it also reveals deeply, and as you walk through it, you begin to see that your greatest growth often comes from your greatest hurt. Because pain forces you to evolve, to stretch beyond your limits, to step into places you once feared, and to realize you are capable of becoming someone you never knew you could be. There are times when pain will make you feel alone, as if no one could ever understand what you are going through yet. Even in that loneliness, something sacred is happening, because it is in solitude and brokenness the transformation does its deepest work, because you have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, you are left with yourself. And in facing yourself, you find healing, you find clarity, and you find strength. And what once felt like the end slowly becomes the foundation of a new beginning. Because pain is not permanent, but the change it brings can last forever. And when the pain finally passes, when the tears have dried, when the storm has quieted, you look back and realize you are not the same person you were before, because pain has a way of chiseling you into a masterpiece, removing everything that doesn't belong and leaving only what is real and true and eternal. And you find yourself grateful not for the pain itself, but for what it made you become, for the courage it gave you, for the perspective it gave you, for the strength it unlocked within you that could have never been found in easy seasons. So if you are in pain right now, if you are walking through something you don't understand, no, it is not meaningless, it is not wasted, it is shaping you, molding you, transforming you into someone stronger and wiser, more capable of carrying the weight of falling. Because pain is never the… and it is always a pathway, and if you can endure it with faith, with patience and with hope, you will come out of it. Not just healed, but transformed into a version of yourself you never thought possible. And that is the beauty of pain. It may break you for a moment, but it builds you for a lifetime. Life has a way of putting you through moments where everything feels like it's falling apart. And you wonder why things that once seemed so secure suddenly slip out of your hands. But these moments are not punishment. They are clarity because tests come to separate what is temporary from what is temporary. Eternal, what is shallow from what is meaningful. What is a distraction from what is your divine purpose, and you begin to see that many things you held on to were never meant to carry you into your future. And it is only when life shakes you that you discover what truly matters and what never really. We often chase so many things thinking they define us, thinking they will fulfill us, yet when a test comes, when the storm hits, when life strips away what you thought you needed, you begin to realize how much energy you were spending on distractions that added no real value to your life. And it is in that testing that your focus is refined, your vision becomes clearer, your priorities shift from what looked important to what is truly essential. Because when the noise of distraction is silenced by the pressure of a trial, you are finally able to hear the voice of your purpose calling you forward. Tests are not here to humiliate you, they are here to illuminate you. They reveal where you have been investing your heart, where you have been giving your attention, where you have been building your identity, and they ask you one simple but powerful question: is this who you are meant to be? And in that question, you are forced to choose between holding on to what is temporary and surrendering to what is eternal, between clinging to distraction and stepping boldly into purpose, because tests are designed to strip away what doesn't belong, so that what truly belongs can finally stand tall. Then you, there are seasons when you will lose people you thought would always be there, lose opportunities you thought would define you. Youth comforts you thought you could not live without, but these losses are often disguised blessings because they teach you that your worth is not in what you have or who you are or who approves of you, but in who you are becoming and what you are called to do. And though the process feels painful, it is necessary because you cannot carry distractions into your destiny, and purpose often requires an uncluttered heart, a clear mind and a soul focused on what truly matters. The truth is, distractions can look good, they can feel good. They can even convince you they are your purpose. But when the tests come and the pressure increases, what is false always falls away because distractions cannot survive in the weight of a storm. But purpose can, and that is why tests are gifts. In disguise, they expose every illusion, every false hope, shoot so that what remains is only what is strong enough to build your life on. And in that moment, you discover a peace that doesn't depend on what you have, but on who you are and why you are here, why you are here. When distractions are removed, you may feel empty at first, like something is missing, like life has taken more than it has given. But that emptiness is actually space being created for what truly matters. Because purpose needs room to grow and tests clear that room, they prune your life. They break away the unnecessary so that your energy can be invested in what is truly meaningful. And when you look back later, you will thank the tests because they protected you from wasting years on things that were never going to fulfill you anyway, and they pushed you toward what you were always meant to do. And as you step out of those seasons of testing, you begin to realize that every loss, every shift, every painful change was actually divine redirection. It was life saying that this is not your path, that is your path, and you move forward with clarity, with conviction and with a deeper understanding of why you are here, because tests didn't just separate distractions from your life, they revealed the core of who you are and aligned you with your true purpose, and suddenly what once confused you now makes sense, and what once hurt you now feel like grace. So when life tests you, when everything feels like it's being stripped away, remember it is not here to break you, it is here to focus you, it is here to pull you out of what is meaningless and push you toward what is eternal, because you were never created for distractions, you were created for destiny. And these tests are proof that your life is valuable enough to be refined, to be sharpened, to be prepared for something bigger, and one day you will look back and realize that the test was never about losing anything, it was about gaining clarity, about finding your purpose and walking boldly into it, with no distractions left to hold you back. Faith is not built in comfort, it is built in crisis. Because when everything is easy and nothing challenges you, it is simple to say you believe. But true faith is born when the fire is hottest, when the pressure is greatest, when life places you in a situation where you cannot see the way forward. And yet you choose to trust anyway, because faith is not the absence of fear, it is the presence of trust in the middle of fear, and every trial, every fire, every storm is an opportunity for faith to grow deeper, stronger and unshakable. in ways it never could without the heat of adversity. The fire comes in many forms: heartbreak, loss, disappointment, betrayal, unanswered prayers, moments where everything inside you screams to give up and walk away. In those exact moments when your faith is tested, that you learn what it truly means to stand on something bigger than yourself. Believe in something you cannot see, because faith is not proven in the sunshine, it is proven in the storm. And what feels like breaking is actually the making of a faith that will carry you through anything life brings. In the fire of testing, all superficial faith burns away, the faith based only on feelings, the faith that is dependent on circumstances. The faith that lasts only when things go right, because the heat of life removes everything shallow and leaves only what is real and true and deep. And that is why fire is not your enemy, it is your teacher, because it does not come to destroy you. It comes to refine you, to purify your belief until it is strong enough to withstand whatever comes next, and until it becomes faith that cannot be shaken by the winds of life. You see, gold is not valuable until it has been through the fire, because the fire removes impurities and reveals its brilliance, and the same is true of your faith, because comfort cannot reveal its strength, but challenge can. And what once felt like punishment begins to feel like preparation, because after the fire you no longer have faith that wavers when storms come. You have faith that says, even in the storm, I will stand, even in the pain. I will trust even when I cannot see. I will believe, because faith forged in fire becomes unbreakable. And when life tests you, when prayers seem unanswered, when hope seems distant, when silence feels like the only response heaven gives, it is tempting to think your faith is failing. But the truth is, your faith is being strengthened, because every unanswered prayer teaches trust beyond understanding, every delayed promise teaches patience, every closed door teaches surrender. And all of it combined makes your faith not something you speak about casually, but something you live out daily. And it becomes the foundation you stand on when everything else around you. Forged in fire also transforms your character, because in the moments where you could choose bitterness, you choose gratitude, where you could choose despair, you choose hope, and where you could choose quitting, you choose perseverance, and these choices shape who you are on the inside and create resilience that not only carries you through today's storm but prepares you for tomorrow's calling. Because faith is not just about believing in what God can do, it is about becoming who you are meant to be while you wait, and that transformation can only happen in the heat of trials. And when you emerge from that fire, you are different. You are stronger, you are wiser, you are deeper, because now your faith is no longer borrowed from someone else's story. It is your own, it is written on your heart, sealed by your experience and unshakable by circumstances, and you carry it with you into every season, knowing that whatever comes, you have already been through fire and survived. And that survival becomes your testimony, your strength, and your proof that faith forged in fire is faith that endures. So if you find yourself in the fire today, if everything feels uncertain, if the pressure feels unbearable, know this: you are not being destroyed, you are being refined. You are not being abandoned, you are being strengthened, and one day you will look back and see that every moment of heat, every moment of heat, every moment of trial, every moment of pain was actually preparing you for a future stronger than you imagined. And you will understand that faith forged in fire is faith that lasts forever. And that is why even in the fire you can say, I will trust, I will believe, I will not be moved. There are moments when life feels heavy, when everything you touch seems to break, when the path ahead is uncertain. And it is easy to think you are being punished, easy to believe you did something wrong. But the truth is, what you call punishment is often preparation, because every test, every challenge, every delay is not meant to harm you, but to build you into someone ready for what you have been praying for. And life knows something you do not, knows what lies ahead, and it knows the version of you today cannot carry the weight of that future. And so the test comes to prepare you, to grow you, strengthen you for what is coming. It is in those moments where nothing makes sense, where prayers seem unanswered, where silence feels louder than hope, that you must remember life is not cruel. Life is strategic, because the same way a teacher gives a test before promotion, life gives test before elevation, and you cannot move into the next level carrying old weaknesses, old fears, old habits. So the test comes not to shame you, but to sharpen you, because preparation is not comfortable, but it is necessary. And every test you face is proof that there is more for you than where you are now. Preparation always requires pressure, because without resistance, there is no growth; without challenge, there is no change. And so when life tests you, when everything feels like it is falling apart, it is actually falling into place, because every trial teaches endurance, every delay teaches patience, every delay… Heartbreak teaches compassion, and all these qualities will be needed when you step into your next season. Because blessings require strength to handle and calling requires character to sustain, and this kind of strength and character can only be forged in the furnace of test. No athlete becomes strong without training. No musician masters their craft without practice, and no soul steps into its highest purpose without being tested first. First, because tests do not come to expose your weakness, they come to build your strength and to build your strength. And so, what feels like breaking is actually building, what feels like loss is actually preparation for greater gain. And if you can shift your perspective from a why me to what am I being prepared, for the pain will still be there, but the meaning behind it will give you power to keep moving forward. Often what delays you, what stretches you, what challenges you the most is not there to punish you, but to prepare you for opportunities you cannot yet see. Because sometimes you are praying for things, current character is not ready to hold and life loves you too much to give you something would destroy you, so instead it prepares you. It teaches you, it equips you through the test because you're not being denied. You're being developed, and one day you will see that the very thing that felt like punishment was actually protection and preparation for something greater. When the test is over, when the waiting season ends, you will look back and see that you have changed, that you are stronger, wiser, more patient and more grounded than you were before. And you will understand why you had to walk through what you walked through, because without those moments of refining you would not be able to stand in the place you are about to step into. And in that realization, you will stop seeing tests as cruel and start seeing them as blessings disguised as pain. Because they pushed you into becoming who you were always meant to be. Tests only reveal your capacity, they show you what you can handle, what you are ready for, and what still needs work. And that awareness is a gift because it helps you grow intentionally. It helps you let go of what is holding you back and embrace what is necessary for your next chapter, because tests are not there to stop you, they are there to prepare you, to equip you, to shape you into the person who can thrive in the blessing that is coming. And without that preparation, the blessing would not last because unprepared success often collapses under its own weight. So the next time life tests you, do not see it as punishment, see it as preparation. See it as proof that you are on your way somewhere greater, see it as a sign that there is something on the horizon worth building your strength for. And hold on, even when it hurts, trust, even when it's hard, and know. One day you will see clearly what you cannot see now, and you will realize that every test was not to destroy you, but to prepare you. And in that moment, you will be thankful for the fire because it shaped you into who you are meant to be.